Coming up this afternoon, death toll in the communal conflict at Sola in the Bole district sharply increases to 18 as over 12,000 women and children continue to remain displaced.
Also to come, battle for Akwatia seats intensifies as latest global info analytics poll tips the NDC's Bernard Baidu as likely winner.
A lot later, we're back here in the capital because the Accra Circuit Court has slapped perpetrators of the Ablekuma North constituency rerun violence with a fine of 6,000 cedis each or default and serve a jail term of 2 years.
It's News Central live on TV3. I'm Kemini Amano.
And I am Mawina Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
Let's bring you our very first story. The death toll in the communal conflict in the Sola and Bole districts of the Savannah region has jumped to 18, according to the National Disaster Management Organization. Over 12,000 women and children have since been displaced. The violence, which began on Sunday, August 24th, over a parcel of land, initially claimed five lives, with several others injured. Despite heavy police and military deployment to quell the violence, the conflict has rather spread to adjoining communities and resulted in more casualties. Well, Christopher Mwako is our correspondent who's been following the conflict closely. He's joining us with a bit more from there. Christopher, talk to us about the latest numbers that we're hearing.
Yes, so Kevin, I can confirm to you that yesterday alone, some 8 lives have been confirmed dead, and according to NADMO, this happened in 2 areas. One in the Chenchere area, where some 5 persons were reportedly killed, and around the Mankuma area as well, some 3 persons reportedly killed in this conflict, bringing the death toll to some 18. And so that is the latest on that development. Now, we also are seeing more and more displaced victims of this conflict trooping to the Sola police station, where a camp has been created for these persons. And so more pressure is coming on the NADMO officials, as well as the officials from the Ghana Red Cross Society and the Sola District Assembly that has been on the ground ensuring that these people who arrive are safe.
I see. And this fresh clash happened despite police presence in the 2 districts. What explanation have police given for why this happened?
Okay, so we've not received any official explanations from police, but what we do know right from the day the IGP visited till yesterday is that the places that have been affected already, we have police team and military patrolling these areas. So these are fresh attacks. We have reported consistently that there is an escalation of this conflict and reprisal attacks as well on communities that hitherto did not experience any attack. So these are fresh attacks. So when the police and military hear that this community has been attacked, then they do deployment to those communities. And that is the situation. Kemini, let's take a listen to the Savannah Regional NADMO Director and an eyewitness of these incidents.
It's not good. Sometimes it's difficult to even talk about some of these things. As of yesterday evening, per my briefings from my district director, they have 8 persons that were killed yesterday. 5 from the Chanchere area in the Bole district, and then we have about 3 around the Mankuma area. So it's not good, but we have a lot of unconfirmed death situation, but officially I can confirm that we've had 8 yesterday, 5 from the Chanchere area, and some 3 around the Mankuma area.
So in total, how many deaths are we talking about?
In total, for now, officially, we are talking about 17, 18. Yes.
Actually, yesterday, around 1 p.m., I was far away from the house. So what I could hear is the gunshot. So they were shooting the guns closer to the community. So I have to locate myself and make a call. So what happened is that the people came from unknown place. There is a road pass through Horeyiri to Chanchere. That is the Mandare road. So the people appeared there, and roughly more than 50, almost getting to 60 people. So they picked them two. So the one that is leading, but the back one only be shooting. So one the person is running, trying to escape, but the back people only try to make sure that they shoot the person. So currently I can confirm that 5 bodies that have been killed yesterday, and 2 are very severely injured. And the most sad news is that the day before yesterday, when our people was trying to cross the Côte d'Ivoire, and then unfortunately the canoe capsized and almost 20 people drowned into the water, and they rescued, and currently 9 bodies cannot be found. So that make the fear of the people, so that they try to return home to see whether they can get some food items and then give to their kids and their wife at the riverside. So
well, indeed, Christopher, tell us what update you may have on the rescue operation for the victims of the boat accident.
Yeah, so Kemini, just after this report, the NADMO director has indicated that we'll be leaving the solar community to the riverside for him to get updates, because the network there is not too stable for him to get the updates for us. But what we do know is that some search party of a sort is still there, ensuring that the search for the missing individuals who were part of those that got drowned in that canoe accident. Like I mentioned yesterday, the water is running, and so they have to devise strategies to be able to look for these persons.
I see, Christopher. Also reported on Thursday about how young children were taken ill in some of the camps. What is the update you have on the camp situation as far as sanitation and the health conditions of residents are concerned?
Yes, so let me say that the personnel from the Ghana Health Service stationed at the solar camp, I must say, are doing very well, because all the cases that report to them, they take care of these cases. Those that require further attention, they refer them to the solar district hospital. Now, aside that, the other concern has to do with sanitation, water, and hygiene. That is yet to get any improvement or attention, because till now, the people still indulge in open defecation. They do everything outside. Yesterday, the Solar District Assembly, through the intervention of the District Chief Executive, brought some water because some polytanks were brought and filled. So the people now have water to do, to bath their children and other things. But when it comes to issues of where they ease themselves, it is still a very big challenge, Kemini.
I see, Christopher. You keep an eye on events there and bring us developments as they emerge. Thank you so much. Christopher Amwako is Savannah and Northern Regions correspondent. He's just been telling us about the conditions or living conditions for people at the Solar camp, where victims of the clashes in Benyere are getting some refuge or respite from the conflict.
Let's bring you some more stories this afternoon, because the Accra Circuit Court, presided over by Isaac Addo, has sentenced 8 individuals who were involved in offensive conduct during the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun to 500 penalty units amounting to 6,000 cedis each, or in default of 24 months imprisonment. The 8, Mohammed Abubakar, 32, Tijani Mahamadu, 38, Prince Jakpasu, 39, Anas Mohammed, 42, Mohammed Hamda, 35, Dako Otibu Samuel, 33, Musa Muntari, 46, and Ali Said alias Bomber, 43, all pleaded guilty to 4 counts of assault and were convicted on their pleas. In his sentencing, the presiding judge noted that he had taken notice of the fact that the convicts were remorseful and didn't waste the court's time. Lawyers of the accused persons, they described the decision of the court as a win, since their clients were only defending themselves. Let's connect with Lord Idwasari right now, as my colleague who monitored the proceedings for us. Lord, I take it was a very brief session in the court. Talk to us about a bit more details, prosecution side of the argument, and then the defense counsel.
Right, Marina. So indeed, it was a brief one, and I must say that once the judge outlined what he made of the case, it just went down from there. Now, the last time they were in court, Marina, you recall that they were convicted on their own pleas. All 8 of them pleaded guilty, although from the prosecution, then their statement of case were taken after the complainants. 3 persons, including the former Fisheries Minister, Howard Kumsin, filed the case of assault against them during the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun. The now convicts, they pleaded or said they were not guilty and denied it, but in court, once they were arraigned before the court, they pleaded guilty, and that was the reason why the judge said they wasted no time and resources of the court. Now, the judge, being mindful of everything that had transpired, indicated that electoral violence is not something that
Lord, and from here, what are we to expect? This brings to a conclusion all the matters relating to that violence which happened during the rerun.
Well, Marina, from the prosecution's point of view, the investigations got them these 8 persons whom now have been sentenced to the fines, 6,000 each. And Marina knows that there were 4 counts of assault against them, and then so the 500 units or the 6,000 was for each of these 4 counts. But then their sentence is supposed to run concurrently, and so the total is that they're supposed to pay 6,000 cedis. The judge indicated that the state and essentially he himself frowns on electoral violence, and so he was advocating or admonished them to be advocates against electoral violence. I was hoping that this penalty should help them reform. And so moving forward, they're expecting to see that these persons who were having convicted and essentially sentenced and fined will be, at the forefront preaching against electoral violence. Their lawyers maintained that this was a win for justice, in the sense that their clients, they maintained, were defending themselves. And Marina, you recall that during the entire brouhaha, there was a clip of one of the accused persons flying from somewhere we couldn't identify, and then launched the assault on Howard Kumsin. The lawyers indicated that it was a reactionary thing and he was defending himself, and that was the reason why everything was being treated as a misdemeanor.
Right, let's hear from that lawyer. But Lord, thank you very much. My colleague Lord Edwasare with details from the court. We can hear from the lawyer Lord has been interacting with.
This victory is a win for democracy. So this victory shows that our judicial system is one that we can trust and rely upon. This goes to show that these are people victims of circumstance, and some people who have not committed offense for you to hold them as such as people who are criminals. No, but these are people who were trying to help a procedure that we all did not understand them.
Yeah. So there was a person of interest, essentially, the individual who was seen flying to attack the former minister.
No, I disagree with you. The person did not fly to attack, but defend himself. That's why I'm saying that these are people that did not understand the circumstance. You understand? So they were trying to defend themselves against someone who was holding a weapon. You understand? So these are people who they don't want to even go through the process of going to court and trying to convince people that they are not guilty or not. So this just to tell everyone that these are people who have not committed any offense.
There were other concerns that there are other persons who were even involved. That was in Ablekuma North. They were visibly involved in the acts of violence, but noticeably they weren't in custody. Has this come to your notice?
Yes, but you see, when it comes to investigation, you may see someone clearly that this is someone who has committed an offense to you. But as to whether the person has committed any offense for which the law can hold that person liable, because you cannot hold a person liable for any offense that is not stated in our criminal books. So if the police or the investigative bodies decide not to bring someone to court, that means the person, to the best of their investigation, the person has not committed any offense. So we must commend them for rather doing a thorough investigation and leaving the people that they must leave and bring the people that they must bring to court.
So this person that we're talking about, he wasn't part of the accused persons?
No. The person you saw defending himself by jumping to help himself, yes, he is part of the accused person.
Oh, okay. Yes. And he was in court today?
Yes, he was in court.
But interesting. So going forward, we've seen also that the court has held and battery. So are you of the where do you stand in relation to some of these
my
I think I would react to that. You see, the legal system has a culture of considering the circumstances surrounding any allegation before the judge would pass the sentence. Now, these are people, young men who acted under the heat of the political passion, with opponents who are yet to be brought to book. And so, and again, when they were arrested, they cooperated fully with police throughout the investigations, which eventually culminated into they being brought to court. And they came to plead guilty simpliciter. By so doing, they did not waste the resources of the state, you get it, and the court itself, and in terms of time and other resources that would have been committed to try them.
Now, away from that, Health Minister Kwabena Minta Akando is currently on an inspection tour of major health facilities in the Western North region. The objective is to assess the quality of health service being delivered to the people and also assess challenges facing these facilities. Let's connect with Evan Sinkum, who is with the Health Minister and join us for the very latest. Evans, talk to us. Where has he been and what have the observations been so far?
Well, so we visited the BBNE government hospital where he's been interacting with the hospital management, of course, patients as far as health delivery in that particular facility is concerned. Well, they've been sharing, especially the patients. So one patient told the health minister that her only problem has to do with the fact that the hospital currently doesn't have a public place of convenience. The one there to her is substandard. They will need an upgraded one for the public, not place of convenience for wards. Patients who have been admitted, but a public one. And so the minister took notice of that. But right after that, there was a closed-door meeting, and I believe that that particular issue was discussed. But there hasn't been any public statement as far as that particular concern coming from that patient is concerned. But it's something that we also going to ask the minister. But yes, I mean, definitely there will be some level of reaction as far as conversation between him and that of management of the particular facility is concerned. Otherwise, any other thing, I mean, from responses that the minister had from the patients appears to be on the affirmative. So that is it. But then he's also been talking about nurses' allowance. I mean, those nurses who haven't been paid, we've heard concern from that quarters. And of course, here, I mean, some nurses also raised similar concern that for 8 months, 9 months, they haven't received their salary. Kwabena Minta Akando has been explaining to them why that issue continues to pen, despite the fact that there have been some changes in terms of resolving that particular issue. Let's listen to him.
The issue is that in 2024, when your clearance were issued, they didn't start the processes very early. So you realize that some of you were posted in 2025. And there was a directive to the effect that even those who were recruited after 7 December must go home. Do you remember? And the president graciously agreed that in the case of the health sector, that should not be applicable. So we had to allow all of you to go through. So now out of the 15,000 clearance they issued, we were able to recruit about 13,500. And out of it, listen to it carefully so that those of you, who will be talking to the others, you have the explanation to give them. So out of the 13,000 that have been recruited, about 10,000 of you, we've captured your name on the payroll. Now, out of the 10,000, 7,000 have been paid. So every month they receive their salaries. So it's left with about 3,000. Those on the payroll, it's left about 3,000 to be paid. So we are gradually migrating all of them.
Well, Evans, we also know that he's been touching on a few other issues, and you reported that these visits were unannounced.
Well, absolutely. But one other issue that's, of course, it's a developing story this morning, which was captured on a sister station, raised by a member of the opposition party, which has to do with doctors, or some doctors also having their salaries not delivered or paid them in the last couple of months. Kwabena Minta Akando has also been reacting to that particular development. Let's listen to him.
Absolutely.
That have not been paid
for 8 months.
And they are working.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have to wait till it comes to my attention before I comment on it. Yeah, I'll have to investigate that. Because as far as we are concerned, the latest recruitment, they've not started working. And so maybe, as typical of every government service, maybe there could be 1 or 2 challenges with somebody's payroll or somebody's recruitment process. The health sector is not in isolation. But to say that a whole batch has not been paid to that effect, probably I'll need to find out more about it before.
Well, Evans, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for talking to us. We just heard from the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akando. We can now bring you by the numbers.
Let's get into it right now here on your Election Command Center, because the battle for Akwatia has taken a dramatic turn. According to latest poll by Global Info Analytics, the NDC's Bernard Baidu has surged ahead with 53% of expected votes. His closest rival, the NPP Solomon Asmedu, now is trailing with 47%, leaving Baidu with a slim chance of nicking this just 4 days before the ballots are cast. And what's driving this shift? The poll points to development project and the economy as the heartbeat of voter consent influencing a commanding 57% of what the desire of electorates are in the Akwatia constituency. And this momentum is marking a reversal of some sort from the earlier poll, the baseline poll where Solomon Asumeddu was in the lead with 50% against Beidu's 44%. Now the tide appears to have shifted, is turned, and is setting the stage for what could be a closely contested election come Tuesday. Let's take you through a bit more of those details as we've been walking you through. Then we connect with Mr. Dankwa, who's joining us as well on Zoom, because we've seen the baseline study, or the baseline poll rather, and now we're seeing this one somewhat 4 days to the polls. Let's try and walk you through it quickly. And I've been walking you through it and mentioning these numbers already based on projections from persons in the constituency expected to vote. 53% for Bernard Beidu, and then Solomon is following with 47%. Owusu Patrick, who is the LPG's candidate, unfortunately, nobody looking in his direction just as yet. But what are the issues of concern? And that's what we're seeking to point to you right now. Development projects, a huge issue of concern for them. And there's a reason why sometimes for us here at TV3, we want to lend a bit more credence to the work that Mr. Dankwa does, because earlier in the week, we brought you a report amongst many other things where we engaged the residents there, and from the conversations and the chiefs and people we spoke to, this development was the biggest matter of concern to them as well. Then followed is matters on the economy. Then education followed, jobs followed through as well, and then the subject of Galamsey. And so these are the key data points upon which the numbers are looking like this: 53 for Bernard Beidu, and then Solomon Asumeddu with 47%. But I mentioned we've been joined as well by Musa Dankwa. He's the Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, and we saw a baseline study, which we've not brought you details of that yet, but we mentioned bits and pieces of it to you because the NPP was leading initially on that front. But let's put all of those questions now to Mr. Dankwa, who's joining us on Zoom. Mr. Dankwa, as always, I appreciate you speaking to us. I mean, what's constituted this shift? Yes, we've walked through the development being of major concern to them, but we're seeing as well the president's approval rating dropping, comparing to the baseline poll that we did as well. And so it's causing a bit of a confusion in the minds of people. The president's popularity and the job he's doing, the people say, well, they are not so enthused about it, but they are intending to vote for the president's candidate. Talk to us about all of that.
I don't think this is a confusion. Normally, when you see a poll like this, with the top line approval rating going down, you're supposed to see the opposition candidate reaping a reward for that. But we haven't seen that. That is correct. It's because the candidate MPP has put forward, the people in Akwatia don't seem to be enthused about him. And also, similarly, division within MPP is a clear reason why they are disapproving the president, but they are not giving the nod to MPP candidate. Now, let's look at the data. The baseline poll we conducted in Wenchi showed that MPP was leading in Wenchi 77%. Now it has dropped to 49%. That is MPP's World Bank. If they don't hit that 70% in Wenchi, they are completely out of gas there. And then another point I need to point out to you is that 24% of people who were voting for or who voted for Ernest Kumi in 2024 elections have switched their votes to NDC candidates. It means they don't like the MPP's candidate. People who voted for Kumi are hesitant about MPP's candidate. Then finally, 11% of MPP sympathizers are voting for NDC Beidu, whereas only 3% of NDC people are voting for MPP candidate. Right. That is where the race is going to be won or lost.
And these pointers you've just highlighted, when we look at these pointers again on the baseline poll, what did it say? Was it always in the trajectory towards Asumeddu? and now it's changing? Because you mentioned as well that there's some division within the NPP in Akwatia.
You know, when we did the baseline poll, the NDC had not elected Beidou yet. So we were doing a scenario. If NDC elects Beidou or elects Kony or elects somebody else, who would you vote for? So at the point we did the poll, it wasn't firm as to who NDC was bringing.
Right.
Now that they know who NDC is bringing and they've compared him to what NPP has brought, I think the choice is very clear. Now, if you look at Akwatia voters, majority of them have senior high and tertiary level education. And they're the ones who are backing Beidou to victory because most of them are not supporting MPP's candidate.
Let's look a bit more into the demographics of this study. We're seeing that for the free SHS and secondary school graduates, the NPP continues to sort of lose support. What is accounting for this, and where are we seeing the NDC gain in all of this?
No, this is consistent with the national poll that we've been carrying out over the past year or so. That shows that people with senior high and tertiary level are more towards NDC now than to MPP. So if you have a constituency that has highest proportion of tertiary and senior high graduates, that constituency may tend to tilt towards NDC. And this is the reason why we believe that NDC is going to win the race, beside the division we pointed out in the MPP.
What are the chances any of this changes? Because campaigns, we understand, has intensified. All of the leading executives of both parties in the Akwatia constituency were expecting a vigil of some sort a lot later. It started yesterday. There's the funeral of the former MP expected in the constituency. All of this, you think, will not engineer sympathy? Yes, we've seen sympathy votes does not matter much in what you've done, but like we say, elections, even on the day of elections, anybody could change their minds.
Look, these are people who want to know or who know what they want to do. There are 11% who said they are undecided, of which 20% are MPP voters. Nearly zero are NDC. So why is at this stage MPP voters not sure of their own candidate? When they do decide, it could go against MPP. The rest, about 43% of them, are floating voters. And about 29% are people who don't tell us their party affiliation. Traditionally, these people do not vote MPP. They vote NDC. Floating voters and not disclosed voters normally vote for NDC. So this window of changing things, I think, is shut.
Well, we'll leave it here. I'm sure we'll interact a bit more on the day of the election and bring a bit more details. But we're staying on the subject of Akwatia because the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodia, he's urged the people of Akwatia to vote for their parliamentary candidate, Solomon Asmedu, justifying that he has the knowledge and expertise to contribute meaningfully to mining policies in Parliament. He made the remarks during a vigil night held at Winchin Anna of the late Member of Parliament, Enes Kumi.
Solomon, no share mine in Swa. And that Sago board on Yaba. Mine is Muyajuma, who knows the Papa. Now, Bino, I did I'm 13,000. What to swap up for me? Coming Buana Solomon, and the Kodia of Pubia, 7 minus woman, or for Santo Pano. Thank you. I buy any gold over. Gold board never. Openia, lawyer near or truck car, Guama, gold board never. Saloya no Kaubi. And then the man has more bra. Saloya no Beso Bedimusuno, or Kaubi, and I saw gold board no never yet. Sandy Power, dear,
On the other hand, National Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, is calling on the people of Akwatia to vote massively for the party's candidate to enable him partner President Mahama to deliver the research agenda in Akwatia. Yvonne Ikwe is our Eastern Region correspondent who's been following the campaigns in Akwatia closely. Yvonne, what else can you report as campaigns reach their peak in Akwatia?
Well, so many, just a few days to the September 2 elections, as both parties led by their national executives are going to have that through the electorate to ensure that they are casting their ballots on those. On the side of the NDC, we are seeing the National Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia go through the market and target group to lobby the constituents. On the side of the NPP, we are seeing Justin Soda, who is the National Secretary, move through the constituencies. For them, it's a moment of bereave. And so yesterday night, we saw them have their vigil night, led them through the Wenchi Street to the residence of the deceased MP, mourning them. As I speak to you, we're seeing a gathering behind me, led by the former President Nana Akufo-Addo, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, minority MPs led by the Akwatia Martins here in their numbers, going through the 1 week observation of the deceased MP, Ernest Yao Kome. And so if you ask me, these are the two sides and what they've been engaging the constituents in.
I see. How about constituents themselves? How are they readying up for the election on September 2nd?
Well, the constituents are very ready to vote in the election come September 2. Of course, those looking to a number of them who are willing to vote, they've just expressed a bit of concern about the numbers of security getting in. But they're also confident that it's an assurance that what happened in Communal will not repeat itself. So it's a mixed feeling on that present, but they are ready and willing to cast their vote. We're hoping that the over 52,000 of them who are supposed to vote in the 119 electoral or polling stations who cast their vote. Like we do know already, this is a swing community. It can go either way, but it's a tight and critical election for both sides who are ready to go all in. We'll keep monitoring to see how the activities pan out before the September 2 date.
Yvonne, thank you so much for the report. And Yvonne Ikwe is our Eastern Region correspondent. Let's bring you a bit more on that Akwatia by-election, which is now only about 4 days away. And already surveys are confirming that the people there are prioritizing development and employment as their major concerns going into the polls. Beatrice Edu was in that community earlier in the former diamond thriving town and tells us residents are asking for change because years of lack of development has left them impoverished.
The sun has set here in Akwatia in the Denchembo district, and the residents here, over 30,000 of them, have had to return to their various homes. Whether or not they had jobs to do today, But that is where the district assembly, the Denchemboa district, comes in, because it is one of many institutions within the country's local governance system empowered by the laws of Ghana to champion development in various areas, district and municipal assemblies. The question still remains as to whether or not the people are getting what they deserve as citizens of Ghana. In the middle of the recently carved district of Denchemboa in the eastern region is Akwatia, a community that has enriched Ghana since 1919 because of the mining of diamonds. Akwatia, through the then Consolidated Diamonds, has given the nation over 100 million carats of diamonds. Once the diamond capital of Ghana, today it is a community in decline. Years after the fall of Ghana Consolidated Diamonds, its people say they are left with poverty, bad roads, and broken promises. Challenges with the mining company means that the hundreds of people who were employed and making a living through the official mining of diamonds have had to find other means of survival: illegal mining and petty trading. Consequently, the lack of proper social amenities has made things worse. The Kuntihini of Achimwenchi, Bafo Ahenijima, is worried.
We don't even vote on issues. That is what I would say. Per what I've seen, we mostly don't vote on issues, but we look at sometimes the personality. But I would say, all politicians, they will promise heaven, and forgetting that they do not control the budget. A living condition is a bit expensive here, being a mining area.
He wants things to change.
Nobody will want to live here when at the end of early morning we're thinking about what to feed his or family. So I believe that if we are able to create avenues for our people, they all want to live in their communities. And I believe if there are job and opportunities here, no one will want to go and live in containers, ghettos, and others, while there are accommodation in their villages.
The people of Akwatia say they are impoverished from bad roads and inadequate health and educational facilities. It appears that they are being ripped off year after year and election after election.
We need development around. Our roads are not good. We don't have any good infrastructure around, so we need them to come and help us.
My problem is, kwana enamo so no toprema efi toprema kwa so kosi adwunase kwa no enye nti boadu ha se toprema no ensuo to a ye bre wa ha.
So the road is very bad. Your main concern is the road.
Yeah, the road is bad.
From Bodu to a Plama road, please, no good. If MP come, make it come help, I'm finished.
I met the district chief executive for Denchemboa, Umar Ahmed Tutu, who seems to want to make things work.
Basically, the moment you enter the districts, you realize most of our roads are not good. We have adjoining districts. We have Asamekesi, we have Kede. These two districts are giving us competition. So our roads are not good. You look at our health facilities, especially our CHIP centers. We are lagging behind most of these CHIP centers. You go to most of our educational institutions too, the furnitures that we need to help the students have access to education is also lacking. And most especially, sanitation, that is one of the serious aspects that is taking much of my time, which I hope with this government's resetting agenda, I will be able to take good steps to curb these sanitation issues in Denchemboa district.
Another election beckons for the people of Akwatia, and already the police have retrieved weapons ostensibly to perpetrate violence and intimidate voters. The big question is, should by-elections continue to be held?
Oh, you're still live here on News Central. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, here's what to expect. In the face of rapidly changing climate, a growing global population and increase in pressure on natural resources, I'll tell you more when we come back.
Why are more and more professionals choosing flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for
Here on News Central. Let's get into a bit more stories for you this afternoon. And in the face of a rapidly changing climate, a growing global population and increasing pressure on natural resources, the agricultural sector is at a critical crossroad. The key to navigating this challenge, experts say, lies not just in the soil, but in investing in research and development. The Crops Research Institute says a sustained investment in research and development is no longer a luxury, but an absolute necessity for the growth, resilience, and sustainability of the agricultural sector. And it all came to light when the Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, John Dumelo, and his team toured some agricultural facilities in the Ashanti region. Ibrahim was with the team. He's joining us right now with a bit more of the details. Ibrahim, let's start first off with where you visited, where you were at, and what the conversations have been, even before we begin to go into the highlights and the demands coming up from the Crop Research Institute.
Well, Mauna, so the Deputy Minister of Agric visited 4 institutions that are agriculture related. He visited the Akwatia Agric College, the Kumasi Academy, the Ramsia College, and also Ramsia Institute, and also the Crop Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. Now, all these institutions are supporting the Feed Ghana agenda, and he had to visit them so that they find a way of making this policy a successful one. Because when you look at Kumasi Academy, even though it is a senior high school, it is one of the institutions that have decided to embrace the Feed Ghana agenda and be planting more of maize so that they will be able to feed the school and even extend it beyond the school. Then also, we do know that Crop Research Institute is into research of crops in the country when it comes to producing high yield seeds and also different varieties of crops.
And they raised a number of issues, starting with investment into research and development. What more did they ask from the minister?
Well, Mauna, is actually 3 key issues I would say were the highlights. One had to do with encroachment in some of these institutions that is affecting their desire to even expand their farming activities. Then another one which is very critical has to do with investment in research and development. And this is something the country has not done much when it comes to it. In fact, the minister himself admitted that when you go to other developed countries where agriculture is contributing significantly to their GDP, you realize that they place premium when it comes to research and development, and a lot more investment are being channeled there. Now you come to CRI, they are also grappling when it comes to investment. These are some of the things that they were asking the minister to put before government and make sure that the government prioritize this if indeed we want to be self-sufficient when it comes to food security. Let's listen to what the minister, John Dumelo, has been saying.
We need to be intentional about research and development for us to move, the agricultural space forward. If you look at other countries, they invest a lot in R&D, mainly because we have to be efficient. And in Ghana, we want to be efficient. It's not really about the size of the land. It's about how many tons you can get from an acre. CSIR is doing an amazing job. I mean, I've been touring here today, and some of the varieties that they have, in fact, all the varieties that they have are something that, if well invested in, can solve most of our problems instead of importation of seeds and so on and so forth. And so I think they need to be adequately funded.
I'm happy that minister understands that. So because all the nations that have developed is because of the emphasis they have put on R&D. And as I mentioned, it's a continuous process. So the technology that is good today will not be good in the next 10 years. So our appeal is that every government program should have a section on R&D. where they support us to continuously develop better technologies. Without that, we cannot be competitive. It should not be an afterthought. It should be part of every government.
Then Ibrahim, we've heard from both. Thank you as always for the excellent work. That's my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar in the Ashanti region, providing us details of the minister's latest, or the Deputy Agri Minister's latest, or the Crop Research Institute, and the need for investment for them. But we'll stay in that region because a landmark initiative is underway to tackle one of the most challenging aspects of large-scale development in Africa: the fair acquisition of land and the resettlement of communities displaced by projects. The intervention is to ensure that progress doesn't come at the expense of people, rights, and livelihoods.
For decades, involuntary resettlement has been a painful ripple effect of development. Major new projects such as roads, dams, and energy installations often come with a painful human cost, that is, families forced out from their homes and lands. But a World Bank-funded training developed by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration is equipping practitioners from across West Africa with the specialized skills needed to manage this complex and often emotionally charged process. Its core mission is to ensure that such vital infrastructure projects for economic growth are executed without trampling on the rights and livelihood of vulnerable populations.
Land is at the core of our life, and when you are going to take someone's land, the person must be in the know from the beginning and must be part of it. And whatever the person is going to lose must be taken care of. Because you see, these projects are to inure to the benefit of the entire community, but some individual is impacted negatively.
Provost of the College of Engineering at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Akwatia said the initiative isn't just about stopping progress, but guiding it responsibly.
This course is to equip those who work in the land space to be able to manage the process effectively, efficiently, and to reduce the unintended consequences. We have to make sure that the development does not affect livelihoods adversely.
Participants from Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and Ghana are being trained in international best practices, national legal frameworks, stakeholder engagement, grievance redress mechanisms, and development of comprehensive resettlement action plans.
From Gambia, I know that our projects have a lot of land challenges, and especially when it comes to involuntary resettlement, moving people from where they are and where they have seen as their place of stay, moving them to a place where they do not know or it is new to them. So those are some of the things that I am expecting to learn how to manage those.
So if there's an issue of resettlement, not only the male should be receiving. So whether it's volunteer or involunteer, they are stakeholders that you should get them involved.
This capacity building effort signals a significant shift in how development is approached in the region, aiming to turn a history of conflict into a future of concern.
And that's our bulletin for you today and for the entirety of this week. The weekend is here. Do well to enjoy it. I am Awin Agbeka.
And I am Kemeni Amano. We'll see you same time Monday. But then I'll see you a little later at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Bye-bye.